Uncovering Sports. Welcome to Uncovering Sports. I am your host, Cactus Hamilton Baird, alongside the Sultan of SWAT, Brendan Coleman. So, how busted is your March Madness bracket?
I shredded it already.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Basically got nothing right.
I'm holding out hope for maybe a second place finish in my group, but I don't think there's a way for me to win at this point.
I think at best I'll finish about 5th. So
will you get over 100 points? Moving on. So the big news in the football world today was that the NFL has ratified the catch rule. They've simplified it. They passed it unanimously, 32 team owners to 0. And now it all makes sense, supposedly.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me.
Sure. Why don't we read this new rule?
Sure.
Step 1, control the ball.
That seems easy.
It does seem oversimplified, in fact.
I like it. Could
Yeah.
that be the end of the rule right there?
I think we could just walk away at that point. Except for that, this feels like where we started with this rule. It was control the ball. Then people argued about what control the ball means, and we just added and added and added until we got the most ridiculous, convoluted rule I've ever read. But step 1, you got to control the ball.
Sure.
Step 2, you got to get 2 feet down or another body part.
That part I get.
I've always got that part.
That
In
was
fact,
easy.
that's the part we all of us watching at home get that one really easy.
Sometimes the announcers don't get the 2 feet down thing, but
I'm not sure how they're not seeing what we're seeing, but
I think they intentionally get those wrong to make us feel smart at home.
thanks, guys. Now, the third part of the rule is where it gets dramatic. Step 3 is a football move must be made, which, as you recall, was part of the rule before.
Yeah.
That was the topic of much debate in every circle of football fans all the time, I think.
It's never made sense.
And it's never made sense. Now it has been reduced to this. A football move such as a third step,
Sure.
reaching or extending for the line to gain.
That makes
which
sense.
I feel like they said was a football move before, but we've classically seen that overruled.
So that's got to be it, right? Those two things right there.
You would think that, right? But there is a third.
Okay. Maybe this
Also,
will clear it all up.
This one was set to clear it all up. A third step, reaching or extending, or the ability to perform such an act.
It makes sense now.
It's all clear now. As long as you can move, you caught the ball.
If you do not take a vicious helmet-to-helmet hit, it's a catch.
If you aren't removed from the game, pending the concussion protocol, we believe you've caught the ball.
Not a fan of that last line, I'm going to be honest.
Was that really necessary?
I think it made things worse. All I wanted was that rule to be fixed.
I feel like that rule is also there to maybe protect them in case of a botch situation.
Sure, yeah.
But also it's the, no-brainer. Yeah, if you're not dead, then you probably got it.
Can't wait to see the first play reversed because there was no ability to perform such an act.
That's going to be the new, was he reaching or falling?
This will be revisited next offseason.
This conversation is not done. I think that they should go with our XFL rulebook rule, which is if you caught the ball, you caught the ball.
Nice, clear and concise. Really states it all right there.
Yeah, you don't need anything more than that. Otherwise, we're sort of in, week 3 of free agency.
Yeah.
It's getting a little slow. Backup quarterbacks are being added to rosters.
What about Odell Beckham?
That's true. Now, according to the Giants owner, Beckham is not on the table. But no one is off the table.
Yes. Well said.
Really clearing things up for us there.
This is probably another Aaron Rodgers type situation where they're just trying to fill a week.
Yeah, they're just
headlines.
trying to draw some attention to a team that otherwise has been unable to draw anything towards themselves in the last several months because they're in what appears to be full rebuild mode. So it's just the news cycle.
Yeah.
It's just, we need to get this guy's name back out there, so there it is. And that's the NFL this week. Because there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world of sports.
Yeah.
The NFL can take a back seat for once. But before we get to those other things, I think that we need to talk about the XFL.
I love talking about the XFL.
I think we need to book the XFL. Every week we're adding a new team to our XFL league, and this week is no different. I think this week we're adding one to St. Louis, are we not?
We are, yes.
St. Louis needs a new team.
Yeah, they lost the Rams.
They were abandoned by the Rams.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not cool.
We gave San Diego a team back. We're going to give St. Louis a team.
We're all about charity here at Uncovering Sports.
You know what the XFL is giving, I guess.
Are they?
In very specific ways.
Sure. They're giving us more football.
Yeah, sure. This week's new team, the St. Louis Apex.
Nice.
Sounds cool.
It sounds really cool. It sounds like a word Vince would really like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It sounds like a word he would get a little too obsessed with.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Wait, is Vince going to do commentary in the XFL?
I hope so. I mean, at least start on commentary.
Yeah.
You know? So as to not tip his hand that he owns the league, right?
Yeah, because no one knows that.
No.
At this point.
He'll have another puppet president.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the St. Louis Apex.
Yeah.
Because they've got an arch.
They do have an arch.
But they're also at the peak of their football game.
Oh.
They had the greatest show on turf, and now they've got the apex of football.
There we go.
Who are some players they could draft? What do we got this week?
I went a different route this week.
Okay.
I went with some non-professional football players who have played in the past.
Dabbled in football.
Number one, I had to go with a quarterback. I think he's one of your favorite athletes of all time.
Okay.
Now, he technically does have experience playing football, but he's also a coach. So that's why I picked him.
Oh, okay.
He's been his own coach.
He's been his
before.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty
This
sure.
guy could play every position.
Yeah. He is none other than the Pillsbury throw boy, Jared Lorenzen.
Yes.
First
The
round
hefty lefty.
hefty lefty. Is he the first round pick? Maybe your team's gonna
He's
pick him.
probably my first round pick. It depends on where in the draft order I fall. If Tebow's available, I'm going Tebow. If he's
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
you got to take a quarterback in the first round. You go Jared Lorenzen.
Lefties are just flying off the board.
They are. They're this is a different league with a
It
different
is.
style of ball.
Yep. Right tackles
And let me
are
correct you, because Jared Lorenzen was not just a player coach. He was also an owner-player coach.
My mistake.
And he does have NFL
He
experience.
does.
Jared Lorenzen owned, coached, and played for his own Arena League team.
And shattered his own leg, I believe. But you know what? He's fine now.
Yeah, he can play.
I think.
Guy can still go. He's in the best shape of his life.
He is.
The best shape is that of an apple, but he can still play.
He's
Okay.
got an arm. Guy's got an arm.
Guy's got a cannon.
And in honor of opening day baseball coming up, I went with a baseball player.
Yeah.
He was
great
a
call.
standout receiver at Notre Dame. You know where I'm going with
I
this?
already know where you're going with this.
Jeff Samardzija.
I'm taking him in round two.
Wow. Your team's just filling out.
Guy can play.
You might be interested in the third guy on the list also.
Okay.
Someone to take the heat off of him. You know, you need two targets for your star
Yeah,
quarterback.
sure. Exactly. You need a number one, you need a number two.
He
Just
may,
for a second, let me interrupt you. Imagine the Pillsbury throw boy connecting with the shark.
but he may have a new favorite target already.
Oh, boy.
If the Cleveland Browns don't scoop him up already. LeBron James.
Oh! And the sports world was going wild.
Yep. He's not going to last till the third round.
He's not.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I can't believe he
Plus,
passed
he
on
comes
him.
at a great price because he'll do it for free.
He'll do it for free.
He just wants to win.
Sticking with basketball, Nate Robinson, one of the littlest guys in the NBA.
He could be a slot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he played cornerback in college.
Okay,
He
sure.
was actually quite good. So he's tried out for the Seahawks. He's found a home, I think.
Okay. And he's not doing anything else right now, I don't think.
No, he's not.
So he's available.
Yeah. And going back to the defense, I know it's not a requirement in this league. He does technically have a tiny bit of football experience with the Vikings.
Sure.
He's also spent time in the UFC.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
he
See where
is
this is going.
Brock Lesnar.
Barack Lesnar. He does. He was on the practice squad and
Yeah.
in preseason for the Vikings in like 04 or something, I think. And the guy's got a pedigree.
Yeah.
Guy can hit hard.
Yeah.
I know that much.
He's getting up there in age, but look at that guy.
I don't think age means anything to Brock Lesnar. No. That's a pretty solid roster additions for this week. Jared Lorenzen, Jeff Samardzija, LeBron James. He's going to be another multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about some multi-sport athletes. And bad news, Yankees fans, and worse news, NFL fans.
Uh-oh.
Russell Wilson didn't make the team. So we have to watch him play for the Seahawks.
Well, maybe he's going to join the XFL.
Wait, who? Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson.
I don't want that. I want a nice, clean league.
He's a Vince guy.
He is. Oh, he's absolutely...
He follows that rule book to a T.
He's absolutely a Vince guy. I don't want to give him any ideas.
He's never even knelt to tie his shoe before.
Luckily, the XFL doesn't have the money to afford him.
Yeah, that's true.
Where was I? Oh, LeBron James.
Yeah.
Nate Robinson. Brock Lesnar. The St. Louis Apex is the 5th team. We got 3 teams left in our league.
3 left.
And where are we at with Vince? Does he like the idea so far?
He does. I can tell. My messages are marked as read, so I know that he's seeing them.
Okay.
And he hasn't said anything negative back, so
hey,
we're sitting pretty.
Nothing negative is positive. Enough about football, because tomorrow is baseball's opening day. You pumped?
I'm pumped.
Let me hear it.
Woo!
Okay, that's pretty good.
Go?
That's pretty pumped. Yeah. We've tiptoed around baseball a little bit on this show, but with opening day starting tomorrow, I thought we'd dive in and take a look at kind of what happened last year and where we're going this year.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Makes sense to me.
Let's talk about 2017 real quick. You remember what happened? It's been so long.
Yeah, of course I remember what happened. The Astros won the World Series.
That's right. Wow. You're really on it.
Yeah.
You watched the whole 7-game series, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
7 of them.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
I really felt for the other team.
It was the Dodgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that, actually.
So the Dodgers continued to get better last season. They've been getting better for a few seasons. Last season saw their big push into the World Series because Kershaw didn't quite have the postseason pedigree to go along with his regular season booking. So they finally give him the nod, send him to the World Series. We saw the Cubs continue to play well. I don't know if you're familiar, but the Cubs won the World Series recently.
Sure.
Ending a very long drought.
Very long.
We are aware of that.
Yes.
And the Nationals did what they do and choked in the playoffs last season, which has me and everyone else speculating. What's this mean for Bryce Harper?
I'll tell you what it means. He's out of there.
Really?
Yep.
You don't think he's eventually going to put the team on his back once and for all? You think it's more of a Bryce leaves for greener pastures?
That is what I believe, yeah. But you know what? I might not be that qualified to talk about Bryce Harper's future.
Maybe we need an expert for that.
Perhaps.
Which is why, in the studio today, we have our baseball expert. He's our columnist at Uncovering Sports with his column, The Short Porch. And he is even more jazzed than us for the start of baseball season. DJ Mike Peterson is in-house. How you doing, Mike?
Been doing great. Have not slept in 3 days.
In
Excited.
Anticipation.
I'm ready to go.
And it's finally here.
I'm ready to go.
So the biggest story of the offseason to me was that Derek Jeter bought the Marlins and traded the MVP, Giancarlo Stanton, to the Yankees.
He who shall not be named is what I call him.
Right.
We shall not speak of his name again.
I believe we started a curse.
It's happening.
That's true.
It's that serious.
Can you tell me why?
Something smells fishy. Let's just put it that way. You go from one of the, as quote unquote, the greatest Yankee or one of the greatest. Mm-hmm. You buy a team. You then convince that main player, the best player you have, to go to your old team for nothing in return. I don't get that.
Are the Yankees heels now? Because they're doing these dirty deals? Like, I mean, you're a Red Sox fan, so that's a loaded question.
That's a hard one for me to be.
But they have this new fan favorite, Aaron Judge. You know, he's got people dressing up in wigs,
Judge's
and gavels
corner, yeah.
at the games.
Yep.
And then they're doing all these dirty backroom deals for Giancarlo Stanton. I get two different pictures of one team.
You know, I think when it comes down to it, I think Rob Manfred had a little bit to do with this. Last year, he juiced the balls. Didn't let anybody know.
He sure did.
Especially not the pitchers.
And we'll talk more about that on another edition because that's a whole episode to itself.
So what do the Yankees need? Oh, they need home run hitters, right? So why not give another 40 home run guy to the Yankees?
Yeah.
Because they're starving for World Series.
Right, exactly. It's been a bit.
Yeah, they've got good prospects.
When the Yankees are in contention, the MLB flourishes.
That is true.
So there's no secret as to why they.
Well, and there you go. You lead another one too. Why did Boston decide JD Martinez? Hey, you need that rivalry back. You need that Sunday night tuning in to see Jason Varitek punching A-Rod in the face again. And I hope that happens this year.
Just separate
Seems
players.
unlikely.
Could A-Rod be in the XFL?
Oh.
I don't know. He's a big name.
That is a pretty big name.
Except for that contract is going to be unmanageable for an
way.
XFL team.
Is J-Lo going to let him play? That's another question you got to ask.
No. He's stuck at home.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry, with this new look Yankees, with the hot young star and Judge and Stanton coming up, and they're obviously on the up and up. They win the wild card game last season, but they don't have to play the Red Sox in the playoffs yet.
Yes.
Maybe we see that this year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
To be honest with you, coming out of both division, they're both in the same division, which means one has to get the wild card. They could match up with the one wild card seed, but I don't see it. I think the Yankees are going to take the AL East, and to be honest with you, I don't think the Red Sox are going to make it.
Okay.
As much as that hurts me.
We'll save that story for another day, then it sounds.
It was a harder one to get out. It was hard to spit out.
So the Yankees are going to take the East. What about the Astros? They win the whole thing last year. Are they one and done?
No, not at all. You get another year of Verlander, who came over mid-season in that trade last year, which made a huge difference.
Yep.
And you also got Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Big offseason development.
The Pirates ace, now coming over to anchor to that rotation. I don't see how they're going to lose a game this year. I mean, literally, maybe if they rest everybody, give the grounds crew an open crack at playing first base or second base or something and let it go.
End of the season, you rest your starters, you let the grounds crew play.
Hey,
you give back to them.
They did a pretty good job of tanking for the last couple of years, so
They deserve a run.
they deserve a run.
Sure.
It's hard to mow the lawn all the time.
Okay, so we're gonna see the Yankees. We're gonna see the Astros. Let's head over to the other league, National League. What do we expect there? Who are the teams to watch?
National League East is going to be all up in the air. I have no idea. You know what? I say I'm going to call it right now. You call up to Tim Tebow, you got yourself an AL East title. Mets, call up to Tebow, get him out there, let him bash some home runs, let him bring a title to your town.
I would personally love to see that.
Biggest name in the sport.
Biggest. Tebow comes up, hits 50 home runs, just dominates. They go all the way. Tebow rides off into the sunset.
Into the XFL.
Into the XFL. That's how you write that story right there.
That's a beautiful story.
That is.
Kid just wanted to play some baseball. Dodgers going to be good again?
Yes. The injury to Turner is going to be hard, but their main competition this year was the Giants. And I'm sorry to say, Ham, they got some rotation
Concerns.
Madison Bumgarner's going to be out too long, so that should be a good. Samardzija is the guy I'm kind of worried about. That lat injury is going to linger.
He's switching sports anyway. Don't worry about it.
He's making that XFL push.
Yeah.
Another way to write that right in there. Right? There you go. See, perfect timing.
Maybe he could get better at least through the end of this season, and then we can start talking about football.
Maybe.
Okay, so do you have any good news for Giants fans listening?
You got the number 2 pick in this year's draft.
I don't know how that helps me sleep at night. I want to win now.
That's true. I really like the additions of Andrew McCutchen to patrol center field. I really liked what they did bringing in one of my favorite players, Evan Longoria.
They made a lot of good moves in the offseason.
on the contention that their pitching would be healthy and let them go.
Right.
And that's the thing about this early part of baseball. A little thing can get you.
A little thing can end up being a real big thing.
Yep.
Do you think this derails plans that they had for the Giants? Do you think this is going to be a big Dodgers-Giants full-on rivalry all season long sort of a thing that now might get tossed to the wayside because Bumgarner's out? And
I don't
now
think
we don't
so.
get Bumgarner and Kershaw?
I don't think so. I think you're going to see Bumgarner and Kershaw at the end of the season. It's an even year.
Hey, you don't
it's
got
an
to
even
tell
year,
me.
right? I mean, come on. Nothing can, you never know.
Any other big storylines that we should be looking out for on opening day and beyond?
The Mariners still have not made the postseason, and they probably won't make it this year as well.
Bold take.
Ichiro. I was talking about it earlier. The last time they made the playoffs was his rookie year, and they haven't made it back.
Ooh, that would be a good storyline.
He's a savior.
He's the savior.
And he's back. He's going to do more than sell bobbleheads. He's taking them to the promised land.
He's going to sell a lot of bobbleheads.
Yeah, to be fair, I already pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 on order right now. But see, he's trying to pull a Tom Brady here and say that he wants to play until he's like 944. This is not going to happen.
I don't know.
Man. I don't know. He got hit in the head in spring training. I think he might be done.
That changes the plan.
It was pretty nasty.
Bad news for Giants fans, bad news for Mariners fans, good news for baseball fans everywhere, because opening day is tomorrow.
It should be a national holiday.
It damn well should. If you haven't checked out Mike Peterson's articles on Uncovering Sports, it's The Short Porch, comes out every week on Fridays. It's great. Check it out every week, and I hope you'll be back in the studio with us soon,
Yeah.
because we're going to be talking baseball for the next 6 months.
Best time of year.
That does it for our show this week. Stay tuned to Uncovering Sports all week long for more news and updates. And at Uncovering Sport on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. See you next week.
Deuces. Play ball.